Good morning again. Sorry about earlier, or good afternoon, wherever you are. Before I was interrupted, I was saying something to you. Let me fix up a little bit. I was saying something to you about race, and that my being in America for 20-something years, 20 years, 23 years, to be exact, I still cannot say that I can side with my kind for disliking other people or other races or other human species who look out for the kind, simply because we are yet to understand that it is necessary for us to do the same. And it is not anybody's fault that we have not been able to do that, but ours. No one is responsible for us fighting each other. Maybe we could justify and say, oh, well, you know, that's what the white man does because the white man wants us to be divided. The white man wants us to fight against each other. The white man wants us not to like each other. But listen. What kind of excuse is that? In this 21st century where you're claiming to be better educated than your ancestors, what kind of an excuse is that other people are preventing you from coming together as a species to help and support each other? Then you form gangs, you support politicians, you elect them in America, you put them in the House, you put them in the Senate, and are they promoting your interest? Are they doing anything to benefit you? These are the things you need to look at as people, your people. While you speak about other people, while you protest against other people who look out for each other, black people in America, you know what they boast about? Their wealth. How many of them have become billionaires? How many of them have how many houses? How many cars they have? Where they came from, out of slavery to where they are now. And I'm not saying that these are not great achievements. These are great accomplishments. But what are we doing with that as a people? What are we doing to help each other, to support each other? The average black person would tell you, the average black person with the resources to help each other would tell you, to help his kind would tell you, me, black people, they don't pay. They won't pay. They won't pay their rent. They won't pay their loans. That's how we see each other. But then we constantly want to blame other people. Hey, Mr. Leons, how are you doing, sir? But we constantly want to blame other people for our problems, for the things that affect us as a people. Do we really love each other? Do we really love the color of our skin? Recently, I have been thinking about the black people or people of African descent in America. And when I see a supposed educated, well-accomplished, whether black American or African American as they call it, driving in what they like to drive, their Range Rovers, and those who are so proud to declare their American citizenship, I'm like, can you just imagine how ignorant and how stupid and how absurd that really is? What good is it? Or how much you think you can benefit in a country that does not love you, that does not even acknowledge you or recognize your humanity? No matter what you drive in this country, no matter where you live in this country, as long as you are like this, I mean, it depends on the class. And that's what I've been saying to you. That's what I've been saying to you. To me, class matters more than race. Class matters more than race. And I have a number of reasons for saying that. Because up to this day, there is still the Negro, there is still the black man who is struggling to be of a certain class that he would be respected by the elite who dominate and control the economy. So then we're struggling to be of a certain class because we know if we get to that class, then very little will affect us. And you don't blame them because that is true. So that's why when they do not get what they want, they invite you to protest, as it happened in St. Lucia recently. Recently, it happened in St. Lucia, last election in St. Lucia. Last election, there were these politicians in St. Lucia. They made race a major problem in St. Lucia. They made race, even in St. Lucia, can you imagine in St. Lucia, they were saying that a white guy, as they call it, who was born in St. Lucia, is a representation of slavery or our slave masters who were brutal to us. But I'm thankful that I grew up in St. Lucia and in the time when there were still those custodians who were brutal, those custodians who had no respect for us even as little children. As little children, we could not after school, walking home after school. They would chase us for a mango. They would chase us for a ripe banana that was on the ground. They would chase us children, little 6, 7, 8, 10, 9-year-olds. They would chase us for fruits. Fruits that were already strewn on the ground anyway. But in America, people talk about race and say race is a problem. My brother, my sisters, my family, we are family. Let's just look at our situation now. Right now the world is open and you could understand and you could see. And I'm not inviting you to dislike white people in general. Because the average white person, the working class white person, is only struggling for the bread as you are struggling for your bread. The average white person has nothing against you. They're only trying to struggle for the bread, just as you're struggling for your bread. And if they do what you call snitching, it's because your own kind snitch to get what they want. So basically, they're doing the same thing that you will do just to survive. The problem that you have now is with a system that controls your home, your home, your native land, and you think that in being in America that you are way superior to where you came from. Some people even declare that they're not Africans. Don't call me African, I'm a St. Lucian. Don't call me African, I'm an American. I'm not Africa. I'm St. Lucia. I'm not African. Even our kind today, in this age, refuse to be identified with our kind, with where we came from.
In 900 feet,
we want to be something that we're not. Can you just imagine that? Can you just imagine how ignorant that makes us?
Per hour speed limit.
Can you just imagine how ignorant that makes us? And nobody says anything, you know. But even in St. Lucia, people can use the race. Play the race card. Play the race card to the extent where, let's just say this. A superior structure is being built for a hospital to house our patients, to provide them with superior medical care. And politicians in St. Lucia are playing race card with that. They're playing race card with that. They're playing the race card. They tell you that it was a white man, it's a sign of master. Are you saying to me that a superior structure that is being built by the government of St. Lucia, not by the United Workers' Party, but by the government of St. Lucia? Are you saying that this is a problem too? So what else is the problem? What else is the problem? how we treat each other, how we disrespect each other, that's not a problem at all. But a hospital, the good intention of a St. Lucian, because of the color of his skin, that's a big problem. To the extent where we will go back to building we will go back to building stupidness just because oh no, that's fine. I'm parked right now. I'm not driving. Thank you, Miss Francis. I'm parked right now. So you see, I'm just bleeding inside for St. Lucians, and I'm bleeding inside for St. Lucia. Hello, Miss Mathurin. How are you doing? I'm just bleeding inside for St. Lucians because we do not see the things that are important. Some people say that I talk about politics or I want to boost a particular party. Now listen, I will not apologize. I will not apologize for my love for the United Workers' Party. I may not love all of its candidates, but I just love what it stands for most times. In opposition, before Chasney, we basically did not really push nor provoke. We just did whatever we had to do. Our representatives went to the house and they ran their mouths just as everybody else. They said whatever they had to say, whatever. But Chasney is the one who's pushing it. And he's pushing it because it is necessary. Because if a person, while in opposition, can say so much, can promise so much, you want to see them deliver on what they promised. You want to see them fulfill their promises to the people. But what are they doing? Are they fulfilling those promises? I would like to tell you. Listen, St. Lucians, I don't care what party you belong to. I don't care what party you belong to. Let's just look at this right now. Are you saying to me that you voted a party, and some of you supporters of the United Workers' Party, you all voted against your party because you all were too ashamed to identify with the United Workers' Party because of the stupidness that was being said or spoken of Mr. Chasney? You all voted against the party because of Chasney, because you all were tired of Chasney. Not really tired. You all did not want the symbol of the white man. So you all got support. You all got support, or you all were motivated. You all were supported by the St. Lucian blacks in the diaspora, as they call it. And those in the diaspora, I'm saying I can't find suitable vocabulary to define them or to describe them right now. They went down to St. Lucia to help vote Chasney out, according to them. So let's just get to the point, St. Lucians. Are you saying to me that it was necessary? Are you saying to me that it was a good move that today, after 2 years or more, that you're satisfied with your decision? That is my concern. Forget party politics. Focus on St. Lucia right now. What is happening in St. Lucia? Aren't you ashamed that you voted a government out because the opposition was talking about a hospital that he was building, that his party was building at the time for St. Lucia as the government of St. Lucia? Are you saying that you made a good decision to stand up against Chasney because he's white and you rejected what he was doing for you? Are you saying that what a person does for you is not more important than how he looks? But let me tell you something. Good news flash. Even the people who support you, who supported you, who went down to St. Lucia to vote Chasney out, they are the ones who don't care with how their bosses look. They don't care with how the bosses look. And later on this month, you will see them coming to St. Lucia. Later on this month, you will see them coming to St. Lucia, a lot of them. I'll tell you something about union workers. I work in a union. Let me tell you something about union workers. And why Hyginus Mathurin? I will always be Hyginus Mathurin. I don't care who. I will even cut out the hands that feed me if they disrespect me. I went on a job, a union job that's supposed to have a shop steward on the job that is supposed to manage the resources, the welfare, the well-being of its workers. And I went there, and a foreman of the job came to me when I went on the first day of the job. He came to me and he told me, well, that's how the job goes. You can be on your phone, but don't let the boss see you on your phone. At break time, you can use your phone, but you have to hide. But you can't take your tool belt off. You need to keep your tool belt off. Now, from that time, being Hyginus, I could no longer make eye contact with this man because I was already enraged. So I couldn't look at him anymore. And then he said, because break is the company's time, so you cannot be on the company's time with your tool belt on. So you need to whip off. You need to keep your tool belt on and have your break. So I'm like, oh my goodness, look at this. This is such disrespect. I can't deal with that. So out of respect for myself, I finished the day. But when the day ended, I wrapped up, bro. I wrapped up. When the day ended, I took my tools and I put them back in my bag, and I was like, this is it. I'm not going back. I didn't even call them for the check. It was mailed to me after. I'm just saying to you, the people who will be coming to St. Lucia, not some of them, all of them, they represent exactly what I'm telling you today. They will be coming to St. Lucia to flaunt in your face the money they made, the money they're making from the same type of people, the same skin color people that they've helped you on the stupid Richard Frederick and his stupid companions to vote out because of the color of the skin in St. Lucia, in spite of what they were doing for you. But you supported them anyway. You worked with them anyway. And now, in December, they'll be coming to St. Lucia. Those of you who have young girls and young daughters, about 16 or over, even younger, I'll tell you what they're going to come to do. They're going to come to flaunt their monies, to show your daughters. Some of them will come down to buy top-up for your daughters, to buy little cell phone, little garbage things for your daughters, and then come back to America to say, boy, St. Lucian girls, boy, the economy is bad there, you know. Economy, yeah, the economy is bad there, boy. Those girls are, you know, boy. That's what they're going to come down to do. But they came down, they went to St. Lucia to help you vote Chastney out because Chastney was white. It doesn't matter what Chastney was doing. Chastney was building you something. He was building you something for your health care. And he had other promises. People say, oh, but Hyginus Chastney talked about people's education. But Hyginus Chastney does not respect St. Lucia. Did you hear the things Chastney said about St. Lucians? Or because of the color of his skin? So he's saying to me now that because of the color of his skin, he should not speak about St. Lucia and St. Lucians however he sees fit. He's a St. Lucian. I don't care about the color of his skin. If he sees that majority of St. Lucians are criminals, he should call them criminals. And there is never a majority. So if he talks about criminals and you feel that you're offended, maybe you are a criminal. Because when people say certain things, listen, when Caucasians speak about blacks, even if I'm in America, when Caucasians speak about blacks, they don't affect me. They don't affect me. What I do, who I am, when I stand. The few Caucasians I have been with, been around, even those I work alongside, let me tell you something. They respect me. They respect me and I respect them. When we spoke, every time we talked to each other, we had that eye contact. Very few of the people I know who work among Caucasians can have that direct eye contact. Some of them, they always have their eyes down or they're looking away because they're afraid to lose their resources, as if anybody's going to fire them for that. But they went to St. Lucia. They went to St. Lucia to help you, to tell you on the Richard Frederick to vote out. You believed it, you bought it, and you did it. Then I think when it was 2 years, after 2 years, there's something that they called y'all to do, and y'all indulged it again. After 2 years, when they had not done much, or they had done something, I said they did about some young people, something for young people to give them loans to whatever. But people thinking about, they give you loans to start a business. How good is a loan? How good is a loan to start a business when the economy is already bad? When the people who you are hoping to serve do not make money to patronize your business. I don't know, I'm just saying. I'm not an economist, I've never done that job before. I'm just saying the youth economy, thank you very much. The youth economy, and Anson was animated by that. And they were celebrating something they called, let me just bring out to you the people you voted. Let me just introduce you, or introduce you, because you didn't know the people you voted. Let me introduce you to the people you voted into power. Let me introduce you right now, because you do not know whether you're a supporter of the St. Lucia Labour Party, or you are a supporter of the United Workers' Party who voted this present government into power. Let me introduce you to the people you voted into power. 2 years. 2 years after, there was something that they called, I think earlier this year, they said, and Anderson was animated about it, let us protect the victory. Let us protect the victory. I laughed because I'm just like, I don't believe that the people who are who are offended and tell me about Shas calling people of St. Lucia uneducated, I don't believe how you would feel after so long standing or marching or drinking with your representative who are more interested in celebrating their victory. So let me just tell you this. Let me introduce you to them now. The people you voted into your government, the people you voted to represent you in St. Lucia, they are power hungry individuals, power hungry politicians. They are not leaders, they're politicians, because they are more interested in protecting their victory. And I was thinking, if you're a leader, you would be thinking of protecting the victory by doing what is right for the people, standing up and tell the people, during campaign it was one thing, but now we're there, we're doing the real thing. We're doing the real thing. We're going to complete the St. Jude's Hospital started by the former administration, because the government of St. Lucia has continuity, and it's supposed to have continuity. And if the government of St. Lucia does not have continuity, that means we have a problem with politics. And if we have a problem with politics, then the people of St. Lucia must set that straight. There should be continuity. And if there is no continuity, then you have a problem. And if you vote a party into power, and if you voted them into power because they promise you to discontinue the work of the previous administration or the incumbent, then you're not only uneducated, you're something that is called a GA. That is what you are. If you voted, then you could say, okay, I'm black, I'm St. Lucian and I'm black, so I can comfortably call you a jackass. Sorry about that, but sometimes I like to use those terms. I even use them against myself. When I do something stupid, I call them as, oh, Hyginus, you someone gonna jackass. So don't feel offended. That's how I use myself too. But I'm simply saying, how can you, a conscious, intellectual person, an educated person, vote a government that is promising to discontinue the things that would benefit you, to discontinue the project that was started by the administration, the incumbent at the time, and tell you we will not finish it. And then you voted that, and you drive down to Viewfort, and you drive down into that old dilapidated stadium. The roof looks like something that was built in the 1920s. And then you go into this section of it, and you call this a hospital. And then you look down, go a little further down, go into Larissus, and you would see this structure that is supposed to represent or replace this thing that you're entering into. Or you drive a little further and you look at what they want to continue, and tell me, what do you want? It is not about what politicians want, because I told you earlier, politicians, the ones you voted, they're about protecting the victory. How does their victory benefit you? Most of them who probably didn't have good health insurance, they probably can have access. Some of them have diplomatic passports, so now they can bring in and bring out as they please, because they could just walk in and walk out. Oh my goodness, they have high-level diplomacy. St. Lucians give. And what do you get, my friends? What do you get? But you are still summoned to protect the victory. Protect the victory. Protect the victory. Why? What victory are you protecting? What victory are you protecting? Is it any better for you? Or the Prime Minister said, oh, well, with crime, I don't know what's happening. You would say, I'm repeating those things. Of course, I need to repeat them, because I need it to sink into your head. Sink into you, through your skull, into your brain, that you would understand it. The Prime Minister stood right before you in a press conference and said, I don't know. I don't know. To me, whenever a person raises their hands, that means they surrender. I don't know. So whatever political move that is, Mr. Sigbert, whatever political move that is to raise your hand in surrender, I just feel like you're saying, please, you can vote me out now. You can remove me, because I just do not know. But months after, he is still there and say, I'm the Prime Minister of St. Lucia. And you mad at Shastney because Shastney said you are not educated. Who makes those moves? Who makes those moves if they're smart, if they're intelligent, if they're wise? Who makes that move to still stand and talk about protecting victory? What do you want in St. Lucia? What do you need in St. Lucia? Is this government, if this is this government providing your needs? This is a question you need to ask. Forget whether I am Flambeau or Labour. That is not important at this point. What is important is this government providing the needs, doing their jobs for you? They travel most times. Do you even know where they go to? They travel, what I heard is that we do not know where he is, but we know he is out of the country. Transparency. They're supposed to be transparent. Leaders are supposed to be transparent. But I don't know. Moi vle interpréter ça by moun ki pitet pa ka kopan anglais. Parce que la moun do yo transparent. Slough Wood sa an pil. Moi transparent. I'm transparent. My government is transparent. Ek you kadi other look man you kadi no ka believe in transparency. Mo kadi ki sa transparency, ki sa transparent ye. Transparency. Le un moun diou, il ka travail en l'été ou, il ka fait ça qui nécessaire pour bénéficier ou, et puis là il ka fait, il ka informé ou, toute décision il fait avant il fait. Eh bien, peut-être si il était nécessaire pour il te faire décision avant il informer ou, il ka paraître devant et puis il ka dit well moi pour telle décision mais c'est ça tel bagay qui ka sorti from décision moi pour. So les amundu moi ka transparent moi ka do moi pas ka chebe si gwe hodu moi pas ka chen anyen hodu moi ka faut sav ça qui ka passé. Now you be the judge. Moi fais jugement pas quoi. Fais jugement pas quoi. Ou voter un gouvernement qui do comme ça chasse les blancs. Bon ou voter parce que do chasse les ka représenter ces moun qui chaîne nous en slavery. But I don't buy about by slavery ça, l'esclavage ça là. L'esclavage, si vous levez cette ici en temps, vous levez, vous pouvez changer l'esclavage. Si vous pouvez changer colombe, vous pouvez changer ces colombes là qui sont dans les dos, avec sang yo, ces colombes là qui sont pêché pour un petit figue, ces colombes là qui sont pêché pour un petit mango. De les cibles non blancs là. De les cibles mettre bitation là. Et mettre bitation ouais ti maman l'école qui passé après l'école qui en joui koyo, qui pêcher figue mi à terre, qu'a pêcher mango, mettre mutation pas de kay fait ti lan yo ça. Mais colombe là qui ka samou a dans tenir ti koule wayay, c'est yo qui de ka courir nous, c'est yo qui de ka faire nous sorti qu'on nous mauvais da to ka arrêter nous pour un ti mango, pour un ti pat, pour un ti figue mi. La figue mi à terre c'est mangous qui de ka manger avec gibier qui de a manger qui de a becté. Mais quand changer nous ne ka aller mettez am la gli bon pat fig là en laisser passer nous café because un pile fig à terre bon pas de ça passer point parce que colombe là de ka pêcher pour fig mi alors que sorte l'école. I don't know, but is that what St. Lucians actually voted for? Is that what racism means to you? To be so dumb that you embrace the black man who can give you nothing, who believes that, oh, now we appoint a special prosecutor. You appointed what shall you create a nom special pour investigate ça yo di Guy Joseph et puis whatever premier mon l'argent. I don't understand it. Does it mean more to you to have corrupt politicians in jail, spending more money to investigate them when you yourselves are more corrupt, or to continue with the business of the country? Is it better for you that they have appointed a special prosecutor and still have not told you exactly what they're doing about St. Jude's? Does that matter to you? What does that matter to you if Guy Joseph going to jail? If Guy Joseph is found guilty, make Guy Joseph pay money back. But is this the first course of action? What about you? What about your children? What about what you need now? Come on, St. Lucians. Come on, St. Lucians. I love Mr. Innocent. Mr. Innocent and I had the opportunity to work on one of my radical cases. But then Mr. Innocent, Hyginus, you remember? When you took my case, you remembered you said, oh, you had already done everything right. So all you have to do is just whatever, I don't even know what you did. Because according to you, you had already done everything right. But for that case, Mr. Innocent, when I went to the commissioner's office, the commissioner and I sat as two grown men. You weren't there, it was just the commissioner and I. And the commissioner and I sat as two grown men and we talked. And the commissioner and I talked and the commissioner offered me coffee. We had a nice conversation. And that is the man that I want to be. I want to be the man that even if what people say, when I stand, when I walk, when I speak, I'm respected. That is what I want. That is one of the reasons I tell you, sometimes you may need money, but money is not your greatest need because there are certain things you will not do for money. There are certain things you will just not do for money because you matter. Who you are matter. What you represent matter. So you will not do certain things for money. That is one of the reasons I'm saying to you, leaders would think of that, not politicians. Leaders would think about doing the things that benefit you, not politicians. Leaders would work in your interest, not politicians. Because leaders have an image to protect. Leaders feel what you feel. They know what you know. They have experienced what you're experiencing. And they truly want to make it better. Not politicians. Politicians, especially those now, they want jobs. They're hungry. They're lawyers who graduated with law degrees, but they are incompetent. So they feel better, even with their law degree, to stand on platforms like uneducated fools to tell you a lot of garbage, to defame, to denigrate, to disrespect other people, that you would vote them into office. And why do they want that job? Because politicians are constantly seeking for jobs, and politicians do not like to be unemployed. Mwen kay di se en créole. Politicien pas content rester sans travail. Politicien constantly yo vle employé, yo toujours vle un travail, yo toujours vle ni travail pour faire. Mais travail là politicien vle faire, c'est pas travail là ou quoi yo aller l'école pour yo ça faire. Travail là yo aller l'école pour faire, yo pas même vle faire. Yo vle tromper ko yo en office gouvernement et yo ka dou yo ka représenter, mais c'est pas ça qui priority yo. Priority yo c'est pour yo ça gagner l'argent from who? Politicians c'est ça yo ka faire. Ouvre des yeux. Pas venir dire moi ou ka protect victory politician. You cannot be justified protecting the victory of politicians. You cannot be justified in that nastiness. Look into your mirror. Look into your mirror. You who made that decision. Look into your mirror and say to me, according to my friend here, Hyginus Mathurin, they can't survive in a real job market. They can't. They can't. They can't. Now, don't get me wrong, eh? As a person, I love Kenny Anthony. Because who am I not to love human beings? Do I want to feel that I'm better than people? No. I'm just simply saying I love Kenny Anthony as a person. You would say that, oh, he is competent because he was a lecturer and he did constitutional law. Now, a person who is a constitutional lawyer, as a Prime Minister of St. Lucia, and we're still complaining about the Constitution of St. Lucia. And it's not different to America, you know, because I believe that our ancestors, those who were before us, were more competent than those politicians and those legislators that we have now. Our legislators now, they are lazy. They are lazy. And that's what I'm telling you. They are not real leaders. They're about their money. They are leaning heavily on what was written then, knowing that most of it cannot be held today. Most of the laws that they're creating right now cannot be upheld now because they are contrary to the Constitution. And a lot of them, they don't care about that. They would hold you in remand for as long as possible because maybe some of them have investments in the prison because now you can get prison stocks. Can you just imagine the world you're in? Can you just imagine the world you're living in? And you want to worry about race? Is race your biggest problem? Is the white man your biggest problem? Is the white man standing next to you your biggest problem? And I have told you before and I'm saying it to you again. I have gone in areas that they talk about race and you cannot be welcome. And I have seen elderly folks who those we call white, held back the doors for me. Hello to me. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not saying it does not exist. But I'm saying personally, you need to be you. You need to earn your respect. You need to earn your respect and earn your respect personally. Don't hinge your survival on what people have done in the past when you're not prepared to make the sacrifices that they made for your own children. You're talking about money. You're talking about doing whatever you have to do for money while you are creating a very dangerous situation for your children. What lives do you want your children to live in the world to come? And you're talking about politics and talking about taking out the white man, and you're still talking about the white man in St. Lucia? That's your problem in St. Lucia? The white man is your problem? Come on, people. Will you wake up? Will you stop? And will you wake up? As I'm saying to you again, it just crossed my mind. And I stopped in the middle of my day to say to you, it is up to you. I don't care what party you follow. It is up to you to understand what is going on around you. Because the people who you elect, most of them are not leaders. They are politicians, and there is a big difference. A politician is a person who is simply looking for a job, who wants to come to you and tell you a whole set of lies, and he has the lobbyists. Now, let's just talk about lobbying for a little minute. I want to get out. I want to let you go. But let's talk about lobbying. Okay. A lobbyist is a person who does or represent a company, a firm, or a person, or an institution, or whatever. That's what you call a lobbyist. And they would go out to seek deals and create, negotiate, or basically to be ambassadors to brands or whatever it is. So they go to lobby, they go to do all this thing, go to talk to people, meet people, whatever. So when you elect politicians, you're electing them hoping that they have the capacity, the intellectual capacity to be able to lobby on your behalf. So you elect a politician and you say, okay, I elect this guy because this guy, you don't elect politicians because they went to school and they can simply speak well, they're eloquent. You don't really want a man who is eloquent and who is just eloquent and just could talk. You want a man who could talk and who is persuasive, a man who has class, a man who, when he stands and when he represents you, people look into his eyes and they know that this man means business. This man is serious. This man can speak. This man knows what he's about, and this man loves his people. So John represented that. John Compton represented that thing. That's why he could negotiate on your behalf. I think Kenny Anthony had that stature, and he had the words, but Kenny Anthony, I think, was about Kenny Anthony a lot, and not much about people. And I'll tell you why I think Kenny was about Kenny at some other time, but not now because of time. I don't want to speak to you too long. But when you elect a lobbyist, you elect lobbyists or your government to lobby on your behalf, a lot of those guys, a lot of the politicians that you employ to lobby for you, those politicians have the lobbyists for the institutions or the other firms in their phones, on speed dial. Let's just imagine that, right? The politician has the like say J.Q. Charles or investors and whoever from wherever they're coming from. They have those guys on speed dial. Some of them have befriended those guys. Some of those guys have friends and they even sit and eat together and they do a lot of important things together. Okay? So let's just say this, all right? You have a lobbyist. Your lobbyist, the person representing you as proxy. That's how you vote them. You vote your government to represent you as proxy, to go where you cannot go, to negotiate on your behalf, to negotiate jobs and employment standards, to go about and talk for you, to go about to the people that they will invite to your country to create the jobs, to invest the money, to say, okay, we will make that deal, we will broker that deal, I will do this for you, but we will do this, but remember that I am representing the people of St. Lucia, and I want the best interests. I want what is going to work for them. So I understand, and when the Prime Minister, that's why when the Prime Minister said about, oh, what is happening in America, I was disappointed, and that's why I was enraged and made that first live, because he said about, oh, you in America, no. And I'm saying, I don't care what is happening in America. St. Lucia doesn't have to get its resources or import its goods only from the places that America is importing theirs. St. Lucia can make their own deals, can broker their own deals, because that is what the people of St. Lucia are paying you to do. So then you come in and then you negotiate because of the man who is on speed dial. You could call him directly. You could call him at any time of the night and say, boy, Christmas is coming, man. Christmas is coming, and my people are crying that things are tough. Bro, because they're your friends. They're your friends. You'll talk together as friends. They want something from you. They want you to sign something from you. Be a man, be a diplomat. Don't just have a diplomatic passport and a diplomatic visa just to flash and walk through and in and out with your own supplies. No, you have a diplomatic passport to represent your people, to stand up for them, to negotiate on their behalf and say, listen, bro, come on, bro. Let me tell you, if Christmas is coming, can you just take less profit? You already have so much. Well, let's think about a percentage that will not compromise the success of your company. Let us just negotiate. Let us negotiate. I know you want so much, but we, the people of St. Lucia that I represent, can you just do it a little better? Run it a little better for us. That is what I'm thinking we elect politicians to do. Not to go and take what is supposed to be yours and say, okay, I can take it under the table, cash. And you know that is what's happening. But we expect politicians to be corrupt. Do you remember when Sir John was, maybe you could say corrupt? I don't know. You can say was in bed with Hess, or Hess he had that relationship with Hess, although not everything went on good, because we know Sir John had that kind of old man mentality and whatever. But Sir John was true to St. Lucians. What he did for St. Lucia represented the best that he could have done. And if anything was not done as it should have been done, we can probably blame the rest of his cabinet who were younger, who could have brought it to his attention to make it happen. But even after Sir John left, we had agro-processing plants, we had all of those things. And the government, the SLP that condemned Sir John so much, even up to this day, we don't have a fraction of what Sir John was doing that could have probably made us in St. Lucia self-sufficient. Are we self-sufficient in St. Lucia? What happens to our fruits? I drive in St. Lucia, even in that place in Grenada, Tomaso. When you pass there, you could still see in the mango season, lots of mangoes are strewn on the ground. And not only there, you go other places and you see the same thing happening. Fruits are still being discarded in St. Lucia. And I'm saying all those things could be processed, all those things could be used, all those things could be used to help us be a little more self-sufficient. Plant, use the ground, provide insurance, negotiate insurance for the farmers, because you know we are in the path of hurricanes. Hurricanes come through all the time by surprise. Negotiate for our farmers, help them, motivate them, incentives to plant, incentives to cultivate. Come on, people. What are you all voting for? Who represents you? Isn't that what you should be protecting? When the St. Lucia Labour Party called you to celebrate the power, to celebrate the victory, were those the things that they were talking about celebrating? No. They called you to celebrate the victory. Celebrate voting Philip J. Pierre into office. That's what they call it, to celebrate. And was it worth the effort? Was it worth your time? Forget about the little rum Anson had on Eastern Parkway. Was it worth your time? I don't want to be fighting for politicians, and I will never fight for politicians. And if what I have said there you think is about fighting for politicians, that is your problem, not mine. Because you have missed the message. You have missed the opportunity to understand what you should be celebrating. You should be celebrating the fact that your eyes have been opened, that you have a better understanding as to what you should vote for. And next election, you will make the politicians who think that you're stupid, the politicians who think that you would vote them simply because they are eloquent. They could stand and speak, and they could speak words that would move you. Then you would go to the polls. You would go to the polls, and you know what you do. In St. Lucia, that's what we speak about and what we talk about and what we laugh about best. And say, during political season, we say, Tikwa. Then you know that is your power. Your Tikwa is not the power of the politician. Your Tikwa is the power of the people. It is your Tikwa that makes you boss. It is your Tikwa that could demand what representation you want. And if you think that you're going to call me after this presentation and think that I will indulge you in political fights, political war, then you're wasting your time. Because I will not sit with you. I will not come on your show. I will not entertain you to discuss any politician. If you want a politician to come and talk, tell them talk to me direct. That's what you should have them do. I am not dealing with any surrogate on any politician's behalf. Hyginus Mathurin, these are my words. Thank you for watching, and I'm saying it to you. It is all for your benefit. What you do with it is up to you. But let the people you employ by your tikwa respect you and do for you what you need. And for St. Lucia, at this time, the money that they've secured for hospital, tell them, people, listen to me. I want to leave you, but I want to say this before I go. Can you just imagine? Just walk down View Fort. It doesn't take much. Maybe Mr. Shasney, and if you're listening to me, or if you're going to hear this, or your surrogates, whoever they are, if you're listening to me, I want you, the opposition, if you're serious about St. Lucians. Now, I'm letting nobody's off the hook. I want you, Mr. Shasney, to mobilize the people. And those of you who are flambeaus, who boasting you have money, finance transportation. Take people. It doesn't matter what party they belong to. Spread this life. Spread this life in St. Lucia. Spread it to your friends. Share it with your friends. Provide transportation for the people of St. Lucia and have a day. Now make it a Sunday afternoon. Because they don't need to see how the dealings, the inner workings of the hospital. They just need to drive by. You don't have to stop to protest. Just arrange a motorcade to just drive by. You could call it a drive-by. And just drive by. People will have a different perspective of drive-by, and they would perceive it differently when you tell them, let's do like a drive-by. And we're going to drive by the stadium that is used for St. Jude's. We're going to look at the structure, the building, its integrity, what it is like now. And we're going to go a little lower down. And we will drive by to see what Shasta started. And we will drive by to see what they want to give you. Drive by and let the people of St. Lucia see for themselves. Don't just talk about it. Don't just get into exchanging crazy rhetorics with fools. Go down. Mobilize the people to see what is happening in St. Lucia and what they voted for, and ask them, is this what you're celebrating? Is this the victory you're celebrating? Not only that, if the roads are bad, then they will feel the roads too. But just drive by. Drive by. Please, just drive by. My people, I have to let you go. I don't like speaking for too long. I like dialogues. Maybe I need to set up my system so we could have dialogue, so you could call me to tell me what you want to see, or air your views, no matter what you want to say. The only thing is that I'm not going to name any show, Can I Help You? Because I know I cannot guarantee my ability to help you. But maybe we could call it, Let's Live Better. Let's aim higher. Because we need better. And if we don't demand better from politicians, we are destined to repeat those mistakes. We cannot vote people because people tell us to vote them out because of the color of their skin. That does not make sense. Vote people because of what they can do for you. Forget about it. In 9 years, not 9 years, about 15, 20-something years, 20-something years, they're working on that St. Jude's hospital. 20-something years working on St. Jude's hospital. In 2 years. Excuse my emotion, my anger at this time. In 2 years, Shasta did something more than what they've done. In all those 15 years together, Kenny Anthony, Stevenson King, Richard Frederick himself twice. And you tell me, for the short space of time that Chastity spend in your government and what is delivered to you? Or you said about Chastity did a bad deal with those people and with that people because he gave them taxpayers' money. People, let me educate you again before I leave. Sorry, but I want to educate you again. Investors don't care. Their lobbies don't care. They want the best. They want something more. They want a lot. So what Chastity did to them is little. It's not a lot. Because Chastity at the time was thinking of putting y'all to work. Putting y'all to work. Forget about the deal. Once y'all working, wasn't there jobs? That's what the emphasis was. And that's why I'm disgusted, I'm disappointed in Chastity for not telling y'all, for not educating y'all. Guy Joseph, for not educating y'all to tell y'all what the money was about, what the deal was about. But the deal was about putting y'all to work. And it was working. Until those clowns that all voted, who were more interested in protecting their victory, they came and they stopped it all because they promised you that they would not continue what the white man started, and you embraced them. And shameless as you are, you turned out to celebrate protecting the victory. People, these are my words. Do what you want with it. But Mr. Chastity, do that drive-by, please. Just do that drive-by. Let the people of St. Lucia see what is happening for themselves and what you did in your 2 years compared to what has been done by the people who accuse you in almost 15 or more years. Let St. Lucians see. And you need to remind them that both Stevenson King and Richard Frederick were parts of what is bad. What is bad? So if you ask me, what is bad for St. Lucia? You can call me what you want. I'm saying it to you. The St. Lucia Labour Party today, the St. Lucia Labour Party of today, because of what they sow, the seeds of corruption, the seeds of separation, the seeds of hate. I don't know, politicians were different then. Politicians were better then because there was still some platform politics, but socially they were good. But for some reason, politicians have become nasty. People, enjoy your day. Thank you for watching. And if it matters to you, if this life matters to you, I'm not asking you to share this life for my personal benefit. Because up to this day, I have not, and Facebook might probably get after me or get to me again. Up to this day, I have not set up anything to benefit financially from what I'm saying to you. And then again, I'm saying to you again, Hyginus Mathurin will not sell his soul for money. I will not compromise what I am saying to you now for money. There is no amount of money that will buy my opinion. Because I, Hyginus Mathurin, must always speak my mind. These are my words. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed day and continue to ponder on what I said. Thank you again for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day.